Hey guys, it's Gabby, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my must-haves for living in an RV. So first I thought I'd share with you the stuff I use for the winter. They have what's called an RV skirt that goes around it so snow and the wind doesn't get under your RV and make it colder. Also use 2 heaters in my house, one in the kitchen and one on the other side where the bedroom is. We do have a furnace in the RV, but I found that we used a lot of our propane really fast. Like within 2 days, our propane was gone. So I found the heaters were more cost effective than using a whole tank of propane in 2 days. Now, something else that's really helpful is to have an extra propane tank in case we run out. We have 2 on the front attached to the RV, and when one runs out, our propane doesn't work in the house. We don't get to use a stove, there's no hot water, so I found having an extra one so we can just swap them, and then whenever we go into town we'll just replace it. That works a lot better than as soon as you run out you have to go into town. Another thing that's good about having the extra propane tank is if the power does go out in the winter, you're not stuck in a cold trailer. You can turn the stove on and not be scared of running out of propane. So to keep your trailer warmer and keep the heat in, there's window insulation that you can get. Now, when we were first setting it up, we bought this clear plastic stuff, which probably worked. In our RV, it's our screen and then our window, but our windows are like doubled. If you can see right here, there's like 2 layers of glass instead of just 1. So we would have had to do it on 2 and make sure it could still open, and that was just a hassle. So we only put the clear one on this big window back there. Then we put this stuff, if you can see it, it's silver. That's one type of insulation, and we have another one on a different window. We bought this as a backup, but the other one I do like better. It actually sticks to the window instead tape on these on the outside, so it looks kind of gross. But that's the insulation. There's a bunch of kinds you can probably get. We just tried 3 of them and they seem to work. Window covers or window curtains, this is not what I'm talking about. We used, I guess, blankets, or you can use actual curtains. We had curtains up first, but the color of curtain I picked I didn't like, so I went and got blankets and I really liked them. Also, because carpet's not really in anymore, you can get rugs. That's a good thing to have on your floor to keep the floor a little bit more heated, I guess, or insulated. We didn't do that because my dogs will just move them all over the place. Slippers in the winter is good for your feet. So for the summertime, I use an AC and 2 fans. The AC's in the kitchen and a fan's in the hallway and then a fan's in the bedroom. I find I need all of those things to keep it cool in the house. Now, because of where we live, it's in the country, and literally right there beside us is a forest that we can go on walks, and I find bug repellent and a fly swatter are really necessary, and depending on the time of year depends on what bug spray we get to use. Certain times we have certain bugs. This time, I don't know, they're called like gnats or bite flies or black flies, or they're these really small things and they're everywhere. So for those, I like to use this. It's a lotion. You just put it on and they leave you alone. As it repels mosquitoes for up to 6 hours, also repels black flies, biting flies, deer flies, stable flies, ticks. We also have this for biting flies and ticks. And then I have this off, which they're both off. Along with living beside a forest, there are lots of rodents. Last summer we had a rat in here. It's gone. Thank you to my cats. But he did chew through like everything. Every plastic container that had something in it. Every like normal container, like the boxes of cereal, the boxes of rice, like everything. Why? So I put everything that I could into glass jars. Like even our medicine, he chewed through the medicine. And you have to throw it out because that's disgusting. So we put them in these little jars. Not just the medicine, like everything that I could, I put into jars. And on the top, I just write what it is. It says Advil. So I would recommend glass jars, even if you don't have a rodent in your home. It just saves you the hassle for if something does come in, he can't get at anything. So for the last thing that I use in the summer and I would recommend would be like this portable type of fan. And it comes with this charger, or not charger, this is how you plug it in. So just right here, you push this, and then this can go into one of those charging things and you plug it in your wall. But in case the power goes out, I have these portable chargers. Now just plug it in and turn the fan on so I'm still cool, I guess, not sweating in the summer. So for things I use all year round, the first thing is this. It's like a ceiling cover. We have, I believe, 4 sunroof type things, and this just goes up in there, so no heat or no cool air can get out. During the winter, it's good for keeping the heat in, and for the summer, it's good to keep the cold air in. Another thing that's good for all year round is a washer and dryer. Small one, so it will fit in your RV without taking up majority of your space. I purchased mine on Amazon. I would recommend you having an extra freezer, as my freezer space is so small and I would literally only be able to have like chicken nuggets in there. I don't know, just like a couple things. Like, it is really small. This is my new cat. His name is Cosmo. Another thing to know for an RV is it's not very big, obviously, so you have to find storage where you can. And I like to use the inside of my stove to put all of my like stove containers, like cake pans, pizza pans, stuff like that. I like to keep inside the stove. And speaking of small storage spaces and not a lot of space, we have a shed outside. Anything that's extra that we can't fit in here, it's good to have that type of storage space. We used to, I guess, rent a storage locker at U-Haul, but it just made more sense for us to purchase a shed instead of paying monthly for someone else to keep our stuff. Now for wall storage, we hang our brooms and our Swiffer wet jet on hooks, so it clears up floor space. We have 4 hooks by the front that we put our keys, my purse. We used to put the dog's leashes on there, but I thought they only use leashes when we go for walks, which we take the car for. So I just kept them in the car. Because here on the path that we have, they don't use a leash. Aww. You want to snuggle me? Aww. Snuggle me. Aww. Alright. So, something else that I find very helpful is to have inside a small garbage in the kitchen. Thank you, Winnie. And keep a big one outside. Having a small garbage inside and a big garbage outside, I find works better. I mean, for me anyway, just because it takes up less space in my kitchen if it's smaller. Yes, you have to make more trips to go bring it outside, but that to me doesn't bother me. I would also suggest getting portable chargers for if your power goes out any time of the year, you can still have your phone. A flashlight is something else. We have this one. It's pretty small, but like it's really bright. So I would recommend you having spare lighters to use my stove, to use my oven, and if the hot water tank turns off, you need a lighter to light all of that. So when I tell you I have spare lighters, you best believe I have spare lighters. Let me show you the versions like this. I have this many. Let me show you. These here. Now, I have smaller ones like this. Or I have all of these lighters like this. Let me tell you something else. To stick my hand in that oven to light it, I will never do. So my husband does that. So if I have to, I don't have to make dinner, but I do make dinner, and he gets off at 10 o'clock, and I need the stove or the oven, I will not cook until he gets home to light that. That's terrifying. Yeah, no. So now all the things I couldn't show you sitting here, I'll go take you to see so you have an idea of some of the things I was talking about. This is my AC, and this is my dryer. That's the small garbage I use instead of having a giant one in the kitchen. So this is the washing machine I use. I keep it in the tub because it has to drain. These are the hooks I use to hang the keys and my purse. This is where I used to hang the dog leashes, but that got changed, like I said. For storage, I use the stove to hold a lot of my stuff. The baking pans, the baking trays, and I put this cutting board in here. These are the fans I use. I have 2 of them.